Let's do a multiplication table in C# using double for loop. So for int I is equal to 1. Why am I writing that? Because the first value will be 1 times 1. And then I less than or equal to 12 will go up to 12. And then we'll say here I plus plus. So we need to increment the value of I. We're going to have for int j is equal to 1. Because we want 1 times 1, which is 1, the first output. And it's going to go up to 12, so at last entry we'll have a 12 times 12 to get a 144. So we'll say for that reason j is less than or equal to 12, and then at the very end we'll say j plus plus. Now we have to be careful with the construction of everything, so this outer for loop, just put a set of curly braces to find a scope, and then put the inner for loop between these. Okay, so that's that, and now you can multiply the values together and display them pretty much. So console.write. I'm going to display them in a horizontal line, so I'm using the write method. You can use string interpolation. So console.write and then double quotes. Maybe leave a space here. You want to space things out so they don't get smushed together. And then after that, if you wanted to, you could say I this way and then times j. So this will just display the values of I and j. The numbers are getting multiplied, and then the actual product you can do in a separate set of curly braces as follows. Remember, anything brown gets displayed as written. Black means it gets rendered. For example, it gets executed. And terminate with a semicolon at the end here. Let's see whether this will give us what we need. So run this. Control F5, start with that debugging. Okay, so what do we get here? Well, we get this giant display, but it's really messy. Terminate that. So very likely, after we generate each row, in other words, you take the 1. I rather has the value 1. So what you're going to do, 1 times 1, 1 times 2, 1 times 3, 1 times 4, all the way to 1 times 12, which is 12. Then you need to push down to the next line. So console.write line at the end of that for that reason, you see? Okay, run it now. Let's see what the difference is. 5. Okay, let's see here. So there's your table with spaces. So for example, 9 times 7 is 63, right? 8 times 3 is 24. Let me just move this into view better. There we are. 12 times 12 is 144, and so on and so on. Close this. And if you don't like the space, then where my cursor is, just put maybe like a vertical line to use as a separator. You can try that. So run that, Control F5, without debugging. Okay, so let's see here how this looks. Maybe like this output more. Job done. There you go. See? And then pull up. So 1 times 1 is 1. For example, 8 times 7 is 56, right? 11 times 2 is 22, all the way to 12 times 12 being 144 at the very end. Terminate. Terminate. Please leave a like.